Grove City College, against the grain. Wendell August, a bit against the grain as well. Many of you have no idea what we do, and there was a table of our products set up outside. We actually manufacture giftware and commemorative pieces in America. And I'll tell you, unfortunately, I don't say this with great pride as an American, but unfortunately, that is against the tide. Every one of our competitors in the metal giftware business is made in China, in India, and in Mexico. We are the lone manufacturer making giftware in metal in America. And so we go against the grain a bit as well. And we proudly do. With excitement we do. We bleed red, white, and blue. So humbly, there's a bit of a connection. We both, the institution here and our institution, we love this country. So let me back up. Let me back up and tell you this story, and we've all heard that history is his story. So let me tell you his story, and I'm going to go back to 2008. I know 1983 is like eons before y'all were born. I can't relate to that. Joe Biden, you know, but I won't go back that far. I'll go back to 2008. And 2008, if y'all remember, was the beginnings of the terrible economic challenges that this country faced. 2008 is when Lehman Brothers went out, and in September of 2008, and after that, the economy absolutely tanked. Wendell August has been around since 1923. We moved to Grove City in 1932, and have done pretty well over the years. My brother-in-law, John, who's in the audience tonight, he and I and our spouses, my sister, my wife, my mom, and all of our closest advisors were called the week of Thanksgiving 2008 to our attorney's office, and again, all of our closest advisors brought us into this room and delivered some really shocking advice. And they said, guys, if you look at what's happened to Wendell August over this past year, there is nothing left. There's nothing left. It's time to wrap it up, sell the assets, and move on to the next chapter in your life. And a lot of people don't know this, but that's what the advisors told us. That's how bad it had gotten, because again, we're a manufacturer and a retailer. 2008, we had opened a new retail store. We had spent too much money, and so we had that going against us, and then the economy tanks. We were in a world of hurt. But as we sat there over the next couple of days and contemplated, boy, what a great Thanksgiving that was. That conversation that we had with our advisors was the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. You talking about rolling into Thanksgiving weekend on a downer. It was unbelievable. And so we sat there as a family and we contemplated what we had been told. Those of us in business, those of us out there, we typically, when we surround ourselves with advisors, we typically take the advice we get. But there was no way at that time we were going to take that advice. And instead, what we said is, you know what? We're going to roll up our sleeves. We're going to do whatever it would take to save this little company. Because we truly believe that we're stewards of a tradition of American manufacturing. American, manufacturing, which in its heyday led the world, dominated the world, set the standard for the entire globe. You and I both know that that is whittled away and whittled away and whittled away. And jobs continually going to China and Mexico and India and Bangladesh and wherever else cheap labor is. For us, the fact that we make something in America means something to us. And as a family, we weren't going to let that die. Nor were we going to be able to look at our fellow employees and say, you know what, it's done. No way. They had been with us, many for 20, 30, 40 years, and there was no way we were going to disappoint those people who had been with us. So we made the strategic decision to roll up our sleeves and see what we could do to turn this business around. 2009, a painful year of restructuring, making all the tough calls to keep the business afloat, but we kept the business afloat. And even in that, people looked and said, wow, that is amazing. In this economy, that you're still going, you're still making stuff and selling stuff in America is pretty amazing. And so the end of 2009, we're beginning to get our mojo back. We're feeling good about things. We enter 2010 on a high. The week of March 1, 2010 is one of those Charles Dickens. Who's read Tale of Two Cities? And that first line, we all can say it. It was the
best of times, it was the worst of times.
The week of March 1st, 2010 was truly the best of times and the worst of times. We were in on March 4th. It was a Thursday, and we were pitching the executive team of the Pittsburgh Penguins as they were getting ready to close Mellon Arena, the Civic Arena. We were pitching an opportunity with them that we would love to make a commemorative ticket to commemorate that last game in the arena. And we were so bold to say, you should buy one of these for every person who walks in the door. 18,200 tickets. I mean, we were pitching the biggest order in our history. We handcraft products. 18,200 is mind-blowing. And our craftsmen thought we were crazy. So we made that pitch in the morning. My colleague and I were at dinner at a little Chinese buffet in Cranberry. About 6 o'clock, we get a call from the Vice President of Marketing of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Congratulations, we want to do the project with you. And we're literally high-fiving at the restaurant. People are looking like, who are these guys? We are so excited about this because 18,000 tickets is a huge order, but we only had 4.5 weeks to make it. But again, remember, we're coming out of a very difficult time, so this is huge news. The next day, March 5th, we go back. I tell you, I'm grinning ear to ear. You know, it's just a perma-grin I'm wearing all day. We bring the company together. We announce this job. People are just, they're clapping, they're high-fiving. We had been through the worst together economically in the past year, and we are so excited. That day, our die engraver, Dave Bruck, gets to work. He engraves the original artwork. He starts to do it. And the day March 5th ends, and Wendell August is facing a new day. We're so excited. I get up the next day, and I go into the office. It's a Saturday, March 6th. My colleague Karen Anderson and I are in the office. She has to leave to go to a community event. I'm asked to go make a delivery to that community event and also one of our stores in the early afternoon. I leave the building. I have my delivery in hand. And I go out to the factory store, the outlet mall where we have a store. As I get out of my car to make my delivery, I get a phone call from one of our craftsmen, Chris Keck, a good friend. And Chris says, "Will, get back here. The forge is on fire." I said, "What?" I said, "Okay, I'll be right back." And I'm thinking a little fire in the kitchen or something. And so I make my delivery. Trust me, my pace was sped up a little bit, but I'm okay. I make my delivery. I go say hi to everybody, get my bags that I'm taking back to the forge, to the office, and I put them in my car. And as I'm getting in my car, Karen Anderson calls me, who's in the front row, and she's in tears, and she says, "Will, get back here. The forge is burning down." I'm sitting here, maybe it's a little bit more serious than I thought.